Hey, how's it going? We're making a video here. We got the detoxification workshop going on here at the Love Center in Sedona, and we are going to do some Q&A here, so we can get a nice some content here for you in a context of real people asking real questions instead of the DTM monologue factor. So, Gail, you're going to start out the Q&A today. You've got a couple questions, and so I want you to shoot.
Okay. My biggest question is, what do I need to eat for optimum health? What do I need to get into my diet on a daily basis, on a weekly basis? Because I know you don't eat everything every day. So weekly and maybe even monthly. That's the biggest question that is for me. There's a lot of information out there. So what would I need every day?
Well, one thing to bring up right away is sometimes it's not about what you do eat, but it's about what you're not eating. Some of the foods that are, like I try to tell people to avoid over-processed, cooked foods, chemicalized foods, pesticides and things like that. So eliminating those things is really the first step. And so the way we do that is through a process of displacement. You know that you of all people here know me the least, I think. I promote fruits and vegetables, and then nuts and seeds. But mostly fruits and vegetables for human health. And the reason why I do that, because you're going to get the minerals that you need for electrical conductivity. The minerals activate enzymes, which activate electrical signals to the cells, so the cells can communicate. Once we start losing that electrical conductivity, the cells begin to lose the ability to, communicate with one another, so that the adrenals can feed the thyroid, and then the thyroid, feeds the pituitary and the pineal and the gonads and the ovaries through the lymphatic system, and minerals in that way feed the glands as well. So you want to feed the glands basically in order to have health, so that you can have hormones and steroids and growth hormones and things like that, and balanced female hormones, or male if you're a male. And so the best way to get those minerals is from the fruits and vegetables. That being said, sometimes the fruits and vegetables are not what they used to be, because the soil isn't treated the way it used to be, and the soil is depleted, and the farmers are going and going and going and going. And so sometimes I suggest mineral supplementation. You need something to drink? Yeah, you can go ahead and take a cough. Is it that LGB or what?
Yeah.
We had the epic lemon ginger blast this morning to start the day for the class here.
With habanero?
Lots of habaneros. Everybody was stoked. I don't think the habaneros were that hot though.
No.
We're gonna have to go round up some hot ones for our.
They work for me. They work for me.
Some like it hot.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. So I want you to think about minerals first. Because really, once we start getting mineral depleted, that's when we begin to fall apart. But also, you're going to want to make sure that you've got plenty of sugars, because you lead a lifestyle of, not sedentary totally, but for the most part, you do sit behind a desk, yeah. And so you're going to want to use the fruit sugars for your brain. And so you don't need as much muscle repair, so you don't need to focus on protein as much. Most people get way too much protein, and it kind of clogs up the body, because there's this protein thing. There's proteins in grapefruit and celery, amino acids. So you don't need to worry about that much. And then, like you said, you like fats, which fats are calming, satiating, lubricating, and very helpful to keep your skin nice and your cellular integrity, as well as absorbing and utilizing fat-soluble vitamins. So, like, the number one thing in the a grosser matter is more in the more material world, because minerals are like frequencies of light, and they're very, very small, like electrical particles almost. But as far as the macronutrients, you're looking at sugars first for energy. Then you're looking at essential fatty acids for cellular integrity. And then you are looking at protein. But you eat enough essential fats and herbs and fruits, you're going to get the proteins you need. If you're an endurance athlete or something, that's the only time you really need to consider, you know, a couple tablespoons of bee pollen a day and your protein requirements are met, all 22 essential amino acids. So that's really easy there. So basically, for you, I would suggest, you know, the juicing, the daily juicing habit, a variety of juices. And then, you know, you can just a smoothie, but just mixing it up, bringing in like seasonal stuff. When you go to the store, you're looking for like what looks fresh, you know, and what looks vibrant. You don't want the wilted stuff that's not really in season, or you don't want the old weird looking fruits from Chile that are like 3 weeks old. You kind of want what's coming off the trees around here. So if the citrus are in season and you want to focus on citrus, grapefruit juice, grapefruits, grapefruit dressings, grapefruit wedges on your salad, you know, orange juice, oranges in your dressing, you know. And so a nice variety and a broad range of the rainbow diet. Really, like fruits and vegetables and a nice variety of all the different colors. And then if you need to supplement with some minerals, I've got some stuff in the fridge, I'll show you.
Okay.
A little, 1 ounce a day, and your minerals are just covered. That way you've always got that, well-rounded base covered, so that you're...
Where do the nuts and seeds come in on a daily basis?
The nuts and seeds come in for strength and power, and they also come in for fertility type of thing. So we can get, as raw foodists, can get too alkaline, they can get too fruity, and they start to kind of get a little weird. And so some of the nuts and seeds can give you stability and balance, but you want to make sure that you're soaking them, sprouting them, culturizing them is really good. And it's really a matter of, look at who's balanced in the raw food game and who's not. You know, look at who's sane and who's not. Who sounds sane and who sounds lucid. And you'll find out the sane dude is eating some nuts and seeds, he's eating some fruit, and he's eating some vegetables. And he's going with an intuitive process instead of like a cult mantra repetition. It's like, think for yourself. I can help you. I can hopefully inspire you today. I can tell you that fruits and vegetables is my love and passion. And I eat 90% of my diet is fresh fruits and vegetables in the form of juices, smoothies, and salads. But I'll bring in the macadamia nuts. I'll bring in the sunflower seeds, and depending upon what I want to do, because there's a lot more different types of minerals in different types of foods. And there's essential fats that are necessary for brain function, like you know, chia seeds are really good, hemp seeds are really good. So it's really like sort of awakening to your intuition. I'll go to the store thinking, oh, I'm going to go get stuff for a lemon ginger blast, and then there'll be these papayas there that are just, and they just suck me in like a tractor beam on Star Trek, you know? And I'm just like, well, I was going to have a lemon ginger blast, but those papayas, it just must have got here from Mexico today. They're fresh, they're ready to go. That's what I'm having for breakfast. Or I'll go to the store and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go get some coconuts so that I can have a green juice. Well, then I'll get there and they'll be like cherimoyas that are dead ripe. And I'll be like, so, you know, you go for one idea to the grocery store, you end up, it's like, and then there's this solar plexus tractor beam, and you're like, whoa, like, I've got to have those. Or, you know, it happened to me the other day with grapes. I didn't even think anything of grapes, but there was these fresh grapes, and they were just delicious, so I just bought them and ate those for breakfast. And so, you know, you get your staples like your lemon ginger blast and your orange juice, and then you've got like a salad every night, or you do some wraps, and you just keep mixing it up. But it's really a matter of, like I've said this before and I'll say it again, we have to stay awake, you know, and we have to pay attention. And so many of us want some leader or guru to answer all our questions. Yeah. And that'd be nice, you know, like I look to Dr. Hawkins, I look to Robert Morris, I love Gabriel Cousins, my friend Lou. I have all kinds of friends whose suggestions I take. I have gathered knowledge and information from so many sources, but at the end of the day, I'm the master. And so are you. And so that's why I say accumulate more knowledge, but then open up your mind and kind of be empty and allow yourself, your deeper self, to talk to yourself. And we develop that relationship. And then you know, like those papayas are my breakfast, because that's what myself is telling myself. And it's so clear and obvious. But sometimes if you don't have that really good relationship with your intuition, you're like, well, I was going to have a lemon ginger blast. The lemon ginger blast is on the schedule. I have that written down, you know, and you're fighting your intuition. But if it's really awake, it's like, oh, I was going to have a lemon ginger blast, but those papayas are just, it's a big yes. So you get used to. That's been the best thing that's ever happened to me in raw foods, is the awakening of my own personal intuition and self relationship with myself, trusting myself, and not trusting so much my mind, but even going beyond that into this to where you can hear and feel, and that's where the meditation comes in, and the constant detoxing, cleansing, and guiding your mind to the divine light, so that that divine mind can be there with you and guide you.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important things I heard today from you, was detoxing emotions, so that we can move forward to become our own best healers and listen to our own intuition. So
yeah, the emotional debris keeps us from having clarity in our intuition. It's like dirt in our field. You know what I mean? And so we've got dirt in our brains, you're not good enough, and you can't trust yourself, and don't feel this way. And then you've got all the emotional debris that comes with that, from cutting your own self off from yourself. When you were a kid, you were just like, yeah, this is awesome. You were so stoked about life. Slowly but surely, the world robbed us of that. And that's what we're detoxing. We're detoxing the world, and we're going back to our innocence and purity. We're going to go out for a walk today, and that will be the nature of our walk. Every step we take will bring us closer to that innocence and purity that we lost when we were children, before we were abused, lied to, impregnated with ignorance about our parents' fears, church, then just school and all this crap. And now we're just trying to get back to, hey, let's have fun. Let's be happy. God forbid. So that's really the nature of detox, going back to that pristine innocence.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Gail, for coming today. It's an honor to have you here.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. Thanks.
You getting something?
I'm getting a lot.
You're getting the transmission, baby.
Thanks.
Who's next? Who's bold? Who's ready to rock? Don't be shy.
All right. Hey, Dan.
Hi, Bianca.
It's great being here with you today. One question I wanted to ask is, what can we do to improve our digestion as raw foodists?
How's your digestion?
You know, I'd like to think it's pretty good, but I find that if I eat fats, which I feel like I need because I'm cold a lot, and because I have a lot of extra energy from all the fruit and vegetables, I mean, it's great, but sometimes it's hard to harness without the balance of, like, say, an avocado or some type of fats that I try to avoid, because I don't want to onset of candida, which I hear about a lot. So I don't know what your take is on that.
Well, I think for me, what I learned was that the fat is very stabilizing. You know, once I took the fat is bad label off, like, I know how to get to that place that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to go hiking, yeah, bring 10 pounds of oranges and go.
Yeah.
And no one's there to stop you, and there's no reason to, but when you're in groups of people and you're at work, and, you know, if you're vibrating at this one level and you're so clear, you're picking up all their crap. The fat helps to buffer your energy field from picking up too much.
Right.
You know? So, the digestion, the way I've improved digestion is, there's certain herbs that can do that.
Okay.
You know, like ginger is really good for that.
I have a lot of that.
You know, another thing is salt can really help to improve the hydrochloric acid levels.
And when you say salt, there's so much hype about different types of salt. What do you what do you
My
call
two
salt?
favorite are Celtic sea salt and a Himalayan pink salt.
Gotcha.
I go off and on of the salt, you know?
So the organic sodium that you get, say, from like celery, is that not?
That's the other thing. I have been able to go long periods of time without salt, but I always bring in large amounts of celery. I will at least drink a head of celery.
Yeah.
So if you're a Puritan and you think salt is bad, which I don't, because I think the salt is, it's pretty neutral. You can live without it for your whole life probably. But I've had some feedback from people that they feel like it's one of the things that makes their adrenals stronger.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of minerals in sea salt. And, I feel like it can also improve digestion, as well as apple cider vinegar being a digestion improver. The best thing that's ever worked for me to improve my digestion is to take 24 to 36 hours and just fast on water.
Fasting.
Yeah, taking time from food,
Now, long-term fasting, say a week or 2 weeks, does that improve digestion, or would that hinder digestion by having to reintroduce food to yourself in a certain way in order to be able to digest? Because I think on the verge of a longer fast, and I want to be able to do that and then come off of it in a way where my digestion is going to be there for me when I need it.
Well, the longer you go, the longer it takes to return. Some of the great fasting experts, really, towards the end of their career, they would stop promoting those longer ones, unless it's for spiritual reasons and
Right.
you've got a couple of months to recuperate.
Really? Okay.
But what's the big deal in your life? It's like, look at your life. If you take 21 days or 30 days or 40 days to fast on water, you're going to take, what's that, a few months out of your life? But think about what it's done for people, the way that it transforms, because you do get rid of all that emotional debris. You do process all the unconscious. You sit there with it, wherever you're at, you're doing your fasting. You're eliminating and viewing the unconscious stuff, and you're letting that go. And that can be, that debris, that emotional, mental debris can inhibit your digestion, because people eat from stress and fear. Well, guess what? When the cortisol is being pumped into your bloodstream from stress and fear, your digestion is terrible. That's where all the Crohn's and the colitis comes from, is fear. So here's the diet. It's the love diet. And look at your heart. Is your heart loving everyone? Is your heart loving yourself? If I don't leave you with anything else today, we need to learn how to love ourselves. And your mind is going to go, oh, shut up, dummy. You're not good enough, because your parents did it unconsciously, or your school did it, or the kids at school when you were just that little. And it's not going to be like you're going to be able to say that once. I love myself. I'm worthy. I'm worthy of love. I love me. It's not going to just you have to create. Now, those powerful thoughts are more powerful than the old. Like the unconscious, like criticism and judgment and grief and greed and shame and guilt. They don't have a lot of power. So they're so heavy. There's no energy there. It's so heavy,
Yeah.
And you can feel it.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, it weighs you down.
Oh, yeah.
So but you have to start the process today of, I love myself. I'm going to care for my body.
Right.
I'm going to care for this body, which is part of you. It's an extension of you. The real you is something else.
Right.
The body is formed out of that energy. And the love is what's going to be light and energizing. And most people, like we talked about earlier, vacillate between love and hate and fear, but it's mostly, but the fear and all the negative emotions, those are, those come from fear.
Right.
Guilt and greed and shame and criticism, those all come from fear. So there's two emotions. And then out of that, compassion out of love, patience out of love, kindness out of love, and then out of fear, guilt and greed and shame. So the fear shuts down the system, closes down the digestion,
Gotcha.
and the love activates it. In fact, what's funny is that the more love in your life, the less you need to eat. We're love beings. And so a lot of times what we'll find is that people eat to love themselves. It's one of the, it is the main way. It is the absolute main way, especially in our society. Mom wasn't there, dad wasn't there, grandma wasn't there, nobody was there, your best friend wasn't even there. But that cereal, that bowl of cereal was always there. That macaroni and cheese with hot dogs was always there. You've developed a love relationship with food. In our society, you might not be able to do this in Africa or something. You might develop a love relationship with your white rice or whatever, but here we've got cookies and bread and all those things that never let us down. Our lovers let us down, our parents let us down. What never lets us down? We can always go to the corner store and get a bag of cookies. So love is food and food is love. And it doesn't, it's that, so you need to look at that in two ways.
It's false love.
Yeah, it's real love because it might be your way, but we want to move beyond that to where you love your experience so much, you're so glad to be alive that then you begin to eat to nourish the body. And when we get to that place, when the heart is fully activated, the digestion is improved dramatically and the need to eat is lowered quite a bit because absorption and utilization is a lot better. People eat out of stress, and that doesn't digest, and people are so stressed that stress burns up so much nutrients. So there's a couple of different things going on there. So that's why fruits, vegetables, and love. Because now when we eat, I love my lemon ginger blast. Do I always need a lemon ginger blast when I have it? No, it's one of my ways of loving myself because I'm still in the mere mortal phase of it all.
And it's a good investment because in the end it's a positive thing as opposed to
right. Like I could go have bacon and
investment.
eggs
Right.
to love myself for breakfast. And I'm not, just because I have a lemon ginger blast, I'm not better than the person who has bacon and eggs. But
that's a bad investment.
But if you look at the energetics of bacon and eggs, the heaviness, the vibrational qualities, it'd be better to love yourself with a lemon ginger blast. That's why I promote raw foods. That's why I still teach the gourmet. I mean, there's the ultimate level to this thing, but who's there? I never met him yet. I mean, I aspire to it, but what would that really look like at the end of the day, you know? Sometimes I just want to sit with people and just eat what they're eating, even though I'm not even hungry. I just want to do it to commune with them. So there's a lot of decisions to be made, but you might have a disease or something, or or your health might be your hobby.
You. Just joking.
Huh?
You said you might have a disease. I said, not me, you.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I meant. Like, I'm talking to everybody. There's a class here, and there's also the camera.
Gotcha, just interjected.
So somebody might be, they went too far. They were depressed, and they've been sad, and they've eaten so many cookies, and they laid around, and they ate out of stress, and now they're just a mess. And now you've got to start unraveling that. And that's what detox is. And it's not just the food, but it's a huge part of it. It's not just the emotions, but it's a huge part of it. It's not just the mind, but it's a huge part of it. That's why the Life Regenerator program is so awesome, because we're taking a holistic approach. It's a lifestyle. You know, it's like, it's living the lifestyle, a lifestyle. It's essential oils, and it's massage, and it's self-care, and it's rebounding, and it's juices, and it's sunlight, and it's oxygen, and it's hanging around good people. It's like improving your life. It's going where you're loved and going away from where you're not, even if that includes your family. You know, people, they might not dig that, but it's like your spiritual family is going to love you and uplift you. And it's your soul that matters, because you are the one looking at you in the mirror. And if you're out of obligation, going back to be around people that, because you think in your mind, oh, family's important, but they just burn you out and drag you down and stuff donuts in your face and make you feel guilty until you break down and eat crap you don't want to eat. Or go around your spiritual brothers and sisters and say, oh, you want a juice? Okay, or you want this? No, I'm actually going to stay on a juice fast. Oh, okay, cool, man, I'll make you a juice. You know, people that are supportive as opposed to not being supportive. And do you love yourself enough to look at the thing and go, I got to get out of here. These people do not love me. They're never going to change, or they're not changing, and I need to go somewhere where I can be in a place where people are supportive. Because love is the answer. So go where the love is and watch your life change. And then be the love. That's what I feel like I am. That's why this whole house is like people just come here, they eat, they hang out, they just want to be here. Because I think I have put so much emphasis on mostly loving people. That was the easy part. Now what I've learned is that I need to fall in a deep, romantic, passionate relationship with myself.
Yeah.
If you're your own best friend, anybody can come and go. You have to be your own best company.
Yeah.
You have to be so happy with being with yourself. You're like your own best friend, you know? And you entertain yourself, you listen to yourself more, you honor yourself more than anybody else. Then whoever comes and goes, jobs come and go, anything can come and go, and there you are with you. Happy, content, and filled with the knowledge of yourself.
It's like what Wayne Dyer said one time when he was doing a comparison to holding onto a trolley strap, and that people would come onto the train, off the train, but that you're always going to be connected to the source. In other words, as long as you're connected to yourself, happy by yourself, that people will come in and get off, and they won't derail your life path emotionally, because you're attached to them, or you're attached to a food, or you're attached to something that tears you down in the end. So,
And we're all working on that.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's where we're going into the levels of self-mastery. That's why I teach, well, I've been more quiet about it, but that's why I live. And if I decide to share it, I will, but I go to the desert and I sit there with myself and what I call God, but the line is beginning to disappear. Where does it begin and I end? Or where does I end and it begin? You know, so I'm really working on just unity, consciousness, divine mind, spaciousness, letting go of all the little stuff, so that I can just be the warmth of life. I mean, this all sounds really good, but I'm just as human as everybody else, but I'm glad to be able to talk about it because I think about it, because I have a vision of constant evolution. So this is a bit more than like regular detox, but the happier you are, the better your digestion's going to be. And the more connected you are with the source, with just faith.
Right.
Faith. We talked about it earlier. One door is going to close, one door is going to open. You can bemoan the closing of the one door or for 20 years and, he left me and now it's never been the same. I'll never find somebody again. Or you can just, that door closes and you're like, the other one opens and you're like, awesome, dude, I'm free, single. I'm going to move somewhere and meet somebody better. You can decide that in 1 second, the day you sign the papers. What's that?
Or multitudes of better people. In other words, instead of having a narrow mind that you have to attach to one single individual in, this existence.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of,
Well, that's a big subject, but...
No, I know. It's just something that I've seen happening around me a lot. And I find that the people that are sort of just letting go and learning to love themselves and fall in love with themselves, they're able to give love in a way that's more open to everybody, not in a,
conditional.
Exactly, not in a conditional way, and not in a sexual manner, but just in a human manner, because they love themselves, so they can give love
in a divine manner.
You can see the good in other people very easily when you can see the good in yourself. But if you only can see the negative in yourself, it's very hard to look at somebody else and see the good in them.
So we're detoxing those parts of ourselves where our parents were like, this isn't okay, but this is.
Yeah.
And so you're all fragmented.
Totally.
You can only accept half of yourself.
I started just juicing, and I still had a lot of just the media and fear and hate sort of being spewed at me on a daily basis through the internet. And the second that I shut that off and opened my mind to what you and like Christina says, Christina Fully about it's more than just the food. It's an attitude towards everyone around you and everything around you. And I shut off all the negativity, and I'm telling you, I have a poor smile constantly. People think I'm on drugs. It's really just love and raw food. So I can't thank you enough. I have to say, Dan is as awesome in person, if not awesomer. than he is on the films, and it's been a huge honor to come here to your home. And if any of you out there get the chance, it's been an awesome experience. I drove all night to